I've noticed a lot of people calling the fall 2016 season dull and boring, but I can't really wrap my head around this. Is it because there's not that one mega hype show Twitter can constantly meme over? To which I'd say, have you been paying any attention? I'd go so far as to say fall's been without a doubt the best season of 2016, thanks to its sheer depth of quality and variety. Unlike summer, which was fantastic for a slice of life junkie like myself, but not so much for others, fall has at least a decent show for every type of anime fan. More than halfway through the season now, I know what I want to watch and what I don't. But what was my initial reaction to fall 2016? I feel like this isn't what I signed up for. Why is no one talking about this show? From the creators of Steins Gate and Robotics Notes comes a show you'll wish was Steins Gate or Robotics Notes. This goes on for 25 seconds. Keijo! Because 6 exclamation points wasn't enough.
The goal is to knock your opponents off using only your boots and butt.
Isn't that how porn starts? On today's segment of Remember, someone had to draw that. Sweating ping pong girls. Even with magic witches flying on guns, Izetta is still a better portrayal of World War II than Gosick. As if turning Britain's most legendary hero into a horny teenager's plaything wasn't enough, anime had to drag some of the greatest composers of all time down with it too. Are no beloved historical figures sacred? And now fall 2017 will give us a reverse harem with the Founding Fathers. UFO.
It's a trap!
Why is his face going through the fence? Seriously, what the fuck was that? What's wrong with his head? He's becoming one with the fence. Anyways, I give you the 10, yes, 10 fall 2016 anime you should be watching. Magical Girl Raising Project. At first glance, Mahuiku appears to be a blatant Madoka Magica clone, but A, that's not giving Madoka nearly enough credit, and B, outside the tormenting magical girls angle, there's a lot of separation between the two. With a battle royale between 16 very moe magical girls, you're probably thinking, oh, how grimdark and edgy.
Aren't these just buzzwords that dumb people use to sound important? Not that I'm accusing you of anything like that.
Thanks in part to the show's proclivity for handing out backstories right before the character dies, it possesses few surprising twists if you pay enough attention. But even when they don't hit, seeing it go down on screen is shocking enough. Mahuiku's biggest problem outside of its predictability and occasional breaks in logic might be the dreadful first episode. The opening shot, which blatantly foreshadows the dark twist, doesn't work well enough as a hook when the rest of the episode never even comes remotely close. There's a disconnect there that's hard to reconcile. Still, the series picks itself up after that with a rather addicting plotline. I've mostly harped on the negative here, but despite all these glaring flaws, I've enjoyed myself quite a bit and look forward to each episode. That's not enough to come close to Fall's stronger offerings in my book, but it is enough to take notice. Poco's Udon World. At the start I was worried this might be Barakamon or Sweetness and Lightning 2.0, but worse. Between the similar character designs, down-on-his-job guy thrust into pseudo-parenthood premise, and Yuichi Nakamura voicing the lead role, I certainly had reason to be. Thankfully, Poco's Udon World forges its own path with a heartwarming character story, suitably warm atmosphere, and a unique twist. The kid is really a Tanuki. Many of you know I'm a sucker for this type of story, and Poco's Udon World is no different. While simple and not overly affecting, each episode carries with it enough heart to always put a smile on my face. If you're a fan of Barakamon and the like, the series was made for you. When the doom and gloom of life's got you down, it's shows like Poco's Udon World you can turn to give you that little bit of happiness to carry through the day. Once in a great while, we are privileged to experience a television event so extraordinary, it becomes part of our shared heritage. 1996, Hideaki Anno finished Eva. 1997, Hideaki Anno finished Eva. Again. Then for a long time, nothing happened. Until now. Behold, the future of anime! Depending on your view, Keijo represents either everything that's right or everything that's wrong with modern anime. It's the most ridiculous concept possible, executed in the most ridiculous way possible. Whoever can knock their opponent off the platform first using only their tits and ass wins. I still haven't decided if that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard, or the greatest. How anyone came up with this is beyond me, but it works because it's absolutely fucking hilarious. The wonder is in the spectacle of the event. With special moves like the butt guillotine, every Keijo match is preposterous, loaded with over-the-top fan service, and brilliant. It's so brazen about its absurdity I can't help but be drawn in. You probably know by now if Keijo's for you or not, and if you want a more traditional sports anime, All Out is definitely worth a look. In a normal season, it would have made my list, but if Keijo's any indication, this isn't a normal season. Drifters. From the mangaka who brought you Hellsing, Drifters is an action romp teeming with gore and violence. Its style is so patently Kotahiro no, you can tell instantly. As such, I can't make my recommendation any simpler. If you liked Hellsing, watch Drifters. Period. End of story. If you're not a fan or unfamiliar with it, then here's what you can expect. Lots of action, badass characters, and a ridiculous amount of blood. There's some fascinating power dynamics at play too, as you'd expect from throwing some of humanity's greatest warriors in a pit together. Though, to this point, none of the characters have left much of an impact on me besides their predictable badassery and bloodthirsty tendencies. Hirono's style is felt in every facet of the series. To some of you, that may be all you need to hear to know you'll love it. To others, that may be a total turnoff. Hellsing's influence is clear, right down to the breakaway chibi bits many people derided. As you can probably guess by now, I was a fan of Hellsing, and Drifters scratches that same itch. Just bear in mind, this show is not for the squeamish. Girlish Number. Nowadays, whenever a new show is related to the industry in any way, it seems comparisons to Shirobako inevitably follow. Girlish Number is a bit different. It's a sort of antithesis to Shirobako. Where the latter had a sprinkling of negative commentary, it mostly maintained an optimistic outlook on the industry and the people within. Girlish Number, on the other hand, takes a mostly cynical perspective. Commenting on the voice acting industry and to an extent moe culture at large, it shines light on the off-cruel nature of being a seiyuu, critiquing both those who produce anime and those who consume it along the way. The MC fittingly carries an overtly sarcastic, contemptuous mood throughout the series, calling people on their bullshit. Through her perspective, you get a sense of just how two-faced people in the industry sometimes must be to get a leg up, something the show's attractive aesthetic helps strengthen. Many criticize the show's moe style as counter to its point, but I believe that line of thinking is misguided. If the goal of the show's cynicism is to open a discussion on the issues inherent to moe culture, what better way to spark meaningful discourse than by using moe itself, drawing fans in only to hand them a mirror in hopes of creating some level of self-reflection. The industry seems very appealing on the surface, but Girlish Number elucidates its less desirable aspects when you remove that curtain. While it may be a far cry from Shirobako's quality, it's a refreshing and necessary perspective breaking from industry shows with a more positive outlook. Flip Flappers. We've hit the point in the list where all 5 of the remaining shows are legitimate Anime of the Year contenders for me, so pay no attention to the order. These remaining shows aren't ranked in any way. Flip Flappers stands out first and foremost thanks to its stunning visuals. Kiyotaka Oshiyama is no stranger to world-class animation, of course. Between the striking action sequences and popping colors, Flip Flappers is essentially a non-stop Sakuga fest. The show constantly uses symmetry to highlight Papika and Kokona's duality. They operate as two halves of a whole. Their personalities reflect each other, their hair exchanges color when they transform, and they're often framed with that idea in mind. Fairy tale and fable motifs run throughout its vignettes into pure illusion. Even the ending has obvious references to Hansel and Gretel, Cinderella, and others. There's a heavy Alice in Wonderland feel from its story structure to the diversity of its environments. Each venture is a new acid trip into an insane world. Hell, in episode 2, they literally chase a rabbit down a hole. Flip Flappers has way more intrigue in its narrative than I could begin to describe here, most of which is still unclear 9 episodes in. But it easily earns my topmost recommendation thanks in no small order to some of the best animation you'll see this year. Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice will likely go down as the fall show most people remember. Its unequivocal popularity is partly due to its easily accessible, relatable story that appeals to a much larger audience base than several of the shows on this list. It's even drawn the attention of celebrities like former Olympic figure skater and NBC correspondent Johnny Weir. As a sports anime, it's a great underdog story, sure, but what separates Yuri on Ice from other stories of its ilk is the remarkable heart at the series' core. Sayo Yamamoto's direction helps too, of course. This may come as a surprise, but I'm not a figure skater. I watch it when the Olympics roll around, but that's it. Even so, the performances have been a consistent joy to watch. Former Japanese ice dancer Kenji Miyamoto handled the choreography, and man is it captivating. The passion poured into each routine is impossible to take your eye off of. Victor and Yuri's relationship is hands down the show's greatest aspect, as their genuine connection is greatly affecting. Watching Yuri mature into a confident performer with Victor's support is easily worth the price of admission. Yuri on Ice is as much about the sport of ice skating as it is the art of ice skating. Sangatsu no Lion, or March Comes In Like a Lion. Few series understand emotion better than Sangatsu no Lion. Never too overbearing, but rather intimately relatable, the series mixes its sadness with moments of joy extremely well. The story follows a 17-year-old professional shogi player as he struggles to balance the weight of expectations, the loss of his family, and his difficulties interacting with his peers. Rei's interactions with the three sisters Akari, Hina, and Momo drive the show, never failing to provide emotionally resonant moments. Their strength mirrors Rei's insecurities perfectly, forming a sort of symbiotic relationship, with Rei in particular given the caring family he never really had. Almost immediately, you can tell this is a Shaft production, but unlike Monogatari and others, the style is fairly subdued. Adapted from the manga by Chika Umino, creator of Honey and Clover, it maintains those same weird mouths, but overall the style works well. Established right from the start of episode 1 with a montage through the city, Sangatsu's world carries the same bittersweet feel of its narrative. At times heartwarming and at others painful, Sangatsu no Lion is a beautifully depicted story of growth, grief, and human connection. Fune wo Amu, or The Great Passage. Fune wo Amu reminds me a lot of Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju from the winter season. For one, they both deliver character-focused narratives with a more adult-oriented storyline. They each have a really specific focus which may not appeal to a larger audience in Dictionaries and Rakugo respectively. As a result, both went relatively unnoticed when they premiered. It's a damn shame too, because Fune wo Amu is one of the best character-driven slice of lives you'll find. The characters are all adults, all look like adults, and maybe most importantly, behave like adults. If you're tired of high school and anime, here you go. It's a very down-to-earth, real story, free from the more idealized portrayals of romance and life you might be used to in other anime. The premise of making a dictionary might sound more boring than watching grass grow, but the passion the characters bring to their craft is infectious. Its interpersonal relationships lend the series its heart, specifically those of Majime and Nishioka and Majime and Kaguya. It effectively uses body language and character acting, a very underrated skill in animation, to inform the character's frame of mind. Availability may be an issue as the series is only up for legal streaming on Amazon, but you can always sign up for a 30-day free trial. Whatever it takes to give this show its due, it's earned it. I normally skew away from sequels in these seasonal lists because usually fans already know whether they're going to watch it or not, but sometimes I have to make exceptions. This is one such time. Yes, UFO is back. The strengths of Season 1 are here in spades, from its tight storytelling to unsurprisingly stunning visuals. I continue to be amazed this is a TV anime. The work of the KyoAni team is utterly astounding. UFO's production has always been a selling point, and even with the absence of some of their best staff who had to focus on a silent voice early on, it's still the big-ticket item of the series. Haruka Fujita, who helmed episode 8 of Season 1, again shines as one of the studio's brightest young talents, having directed 2 of this season's best outings, including episode 7, which he also storyboarded. Of particular note, Akiko Takase's work as animation director in episode 9 is mind-blowing. Ishidata deserves mention too for his direction and storyboarding of the episode, but for Takase to come up with this in her first real outing as animation director of an episode is insane. The detail and movement in this episode's animation is absurdly beautiful. It doesn't get better than this for a TV anime. So much is said in UFO without any words expressed. It truly values the storytelling ability of the visual medium, not to mention affording it a real quality which makes it a lot easier to feel with the characters. Kumiko and Reina's relationship continues to develop while feeling much more assured in this second season. Each has a general understanding of the other at this point, making their interactions so sincere. Those watching for the music won't be disappointed either, as Season 2 boasts more tremendous performances in the band's fight to reach nationals. Asuka takes the spotlight as well, finally answering the mystery that's clouded her character since Season 1. I have so much more I want to say about UFO Season 2, but that'll require its own video. For now, through 9 episodes, it seems to be getting better as it goes along. But one thing's for sure, Sound Euphonium is as strong as ever.
ふやけてく唇重たい相棒もデコだらけの指だって勲章出るから抜けて